the pop culture feel, and you will.
For you, I think since we're talking about it, I think it's kind of cliche or cheesy, but it's usually gift cards. We've been getting each other gift cards. Like you got me a Steam gift card.
I think
I got
it's
you a Chipotle
easy.
gift card.
I'm not sure if is it like a cop out, you know? Because you're like,
I mean,
I
it could
don't know
be.
what they want, but I know places they like to go.
Honestly,
So, like,
Cameron, for you, I feel like you've got everything, and all the things that
no,
you
don't say
want,
that, man.
I can't afford.
Yeah, like I would love night vision. Why, Izzy? This year, I want,
Yeah,
I
have an
want
extra
a laser.
$30,000.
Yeah, buddy. It's you know, and it's compared to what you're gonna make in the future with your YouTube channel, it's just nothing, right? So
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think that's the biggest problem I have with like my fiance. We do the same thing. Like actually, in my side of the family, like we tend to tell each other, like we'll have a list, and you just get me whatever you feel like off this list, and that way you're happy because you get exactly what you want. Unless you want one thing and then someone gets you something else, and it's like, damn it. But it's funny because Sydney's side of the family, they get each other things that they think they would want. So like it's almost more challenging to me because it's just like, it's so much easier because I think it's a win-win. I get you a present and you get exactly what you want versus I get you a present I think you want and you're like not that jazzed about it. Or you're just like, oh, thanks. You know, like this is cool, but like, I don't really need this, or it's just going to take up space. So I think it's easier to do that, but I think it means more to them that you like get them something. So
yeah, and I think with you and I, especially with our significant others, I try to challenge myself to always be paying attention to my wife, like the things she says, the habits, actions. Yeah, because then I can think like later on, like she doesn't listen to the show, so I can tell you like the thing I got her. That's the unknown gift is a digital hand warmers.
Oh, nice.
She actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but my wife hails from underneath the earth and she's a lizard person.
She's a lizard.
She cannot retain heat.
Yeah.
And so it's good that I run hot because I'm like her heat rock that she lays on top of. But her hands are always cold. And what I love is that when we're walking along, she like puts her hand in my pocket or we hold hands, you know?
Yeah.
But when I'm not there, I would like her to have these little digital hand warmers.
Nice. That's a meaningful gift.
Yeah. So
that's good, man.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, do you feel like you got to like challenge yourself to come up with something Sydney just like, she'd love it, but she didn't tell you explicitly?
Yeah.
I feel like
women, a lot.
They want that connection, right? So they want you to know that you're thinking about them and that you're paying attention to them.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. She does that. Like I will force things that she wants, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to like paying attention. Like, the little things of like your fiance's like shows you a reel on Instagram of something cool. And like, there's something involved. Like, we are proud cat parents, So like, obviously, I'm not gonna get her a third because that's what she really wants, and I'm strictly against it.
Oh my gosh,
we just don't have the space. So like, maybe when we move or something or upgrade, but right now, absolutely not. But she loves wearing socks around the house, and she loves our cats to death. So like, one of her stocking stuffers is I had custom made socks with both of our cats' faces all over them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
they turned out awesome too. Honestly, I just Googled like custom cat socks and they're like, upload a picture of your cat. I'm expecting them to be just crap, but I'm like, oh, it's worth a shot. But I got them and they are legit, man. They're like, it's funny. And I got really funny pictures of their faces and they're all over the socks. So I'm hoping she likes them because they feel soft too. So
cool,
that was my thing that, she didn't ask for, that I'm like, let's get something entertaining.
Well, you know what else is surprising, Cameron? An explosion.
Boom. Yeah.
Haha. Yeah.
Good segue.
Which is what we are talking about today, folks. You read the title if you're on YouTube or listening wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. It's the Pop Culture Film Manual Podcast. And today we are talking about explosions. And why are we talking about explosions? Because they're everywhere, folks. They're in the battlefield. They're in your home. They're in old abandoned iron smelting factories that bad guys use as hideouts. Explosions are as much a part of action pop culture as fists and guns. They can start the plot, enhance it, end it, or actually ruin everything, like sometimes literally. And so today we're talking about all things splody. So let's take off and nuke the entire site from orbit because it's the only way to be sure.
Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't done an episode on explosions because, like, I don't know about you, but when I tell people, like, why'd you join the military? And I was like, well, because I wanted to shoot guns and blow shit up. Like,
Yep.
those are that's my constant, that's my constant answer. Like, never changes.
Yeah.
Uh, so the fact that, like, we've never done an episode in the how long we've been doing this podcast for, like, what, 2 years, a year and a half? Like, the fact that we
Almost
haven't
3,
talked
man.
almost 3. Wow. It's crazy. The fact that we haven't done an episode just on like some of the coolest explosions we've seen in
Yeah.
movies or just in our lifetime. Yeah, that's it blows my mind.
Hey, good analogy, man. I think one of the things I mean, I actually had this thought when we had the initial idea, brainstorming episode ideas is, it's an explosion, right?
Yeah.
It's not a character. We're not talking about an actor or a plot line or this, that, or the other thing. But I think it's an interesting way to talk about story,
Yeah.
basically, and also just the spectacle of it all, because most human beings, I mean, I think most human beings, hopefully most human beings, will never encounter an actual explosion.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
what
not like some
explosions have you encountered? We've encountered more than the average person because we've been in the military and we've worked with explosives like C4 and breaching charges and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But for the most part, nobody's really going to see an explosion in their lifetime
Yeah.
in real life.
Or like a real explosion, not like fireworks, I mean, technically those are
Yeah, you're
explosions,
right. Yeah, yeah.
but
Not for
like
entertainment
but
spectacle.
not like an explosion that could put like liquefy you.
Yeah, like what was like it was like some sort of chemical plant or something in Sri Lanka.
Oh,
You ever
that
seen that
went
video
up?
where you see the
Oh,
shock
man.
wave
Yeah.
that just travels through? It's like this amazing. You guys let us know where you're at. It's like Zimbabwe or something, but it
Yeah,
was some plant or something that it just boosh. And it's like, wow, those special effects artists really know what they're doing because that looked like it was in a movie.
yeah, no, literally. Yeah. Yeah, that CGI was awesome, in that YouTube video. But, yeah, no, explosions, I think there's definitely a difference because, like, a lot of people think, like, the fire is the thing that kills you or, like, no, it's the overpressure.
It's the
Like,
shock wave.
yeah,
Yeah.
the shock wave is the thing that will absolutely decimate you, and,
Yeah.
I think that's the difference between, like, fireworks. Like, when you feel a fireworks, sometimes you feel the little thing in your gut, but if you ever been close enough to, like, an actual explosion to where, like, you feel like you're gonna shit your pants,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's what I consider an explosion, to where you get a
Yeah.
gut like, in your gut feels like it just compressed.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and it not the and it's funny because we'll talk about some amazing spectacle like explosion, but I've been on set where there's been fire, like active fire, like for special effects, but they have practical
yeah,
flames and stuff. You can't get like 20, 30 feet away. You're
you're hot.
feeling the heat. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's hot, man. And that's a couple of pipes, like it
Mhm.
was like a structure. It was for Only the Brave, the firefighter movie.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
did some PA work on it, but it's like you're standing back there, and I had to stand further back because I'm like, man, this
Like, shit.
fire is hot, as it turns
Fire
out.
is hot. That reminds me of like my on-set experience with like explosion and fire. Like it was during Tenet. But it
Yeah,
was kind of ironic because like we were what were we doing? I think we had to walk. Yeah, we had to walk backwards through this like village. And they didn't like we rehearsed it a couple of times because we're supposed to take like this path and we were like in a ranger file, just kind of like all like looking around the buildings. And literally nobody said that like we're gonna use practical effects and all these buildings around you are going to explode. Like nobody told us that.
maybe they wanted to get the
Yeah,
authentic
I think they wanted to
reaction.
get the authentic reaction because, like, I remember we rehearsed it like 2 or 3 times, just like walking back, like everybody's looking around, like checking the buildings and whatnot.
Yeah,
And then finally, they're like, "Okay, you guys ready to do it?" And we're all like, "Yeah, yeah, let's do it." We've been practicing for like an hour, and all of a sudden we go and we're like looking, and all these buildings explode, like literally dust, like dust just is smacking me. I'm getting hit by debris, and there's
yeah.
flames and everything, and I'm like, I didn't expect this at all. And I'm just like full on warrior mode, just like screaming at everybody. But yeah, that was, I think, yeah, they definitely did that on purpose because that was my first experience with like actual on set explosions because they're huge.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're big and
Were they loud, Cameron? Because a lot of times you watch behind the scenes footage of big action movies, and in the movie it's like a boosh, it's a wah, like these big loud slapping sounds. But on set it's like, psh,
yeah, yeah. No, it
you know?
wasn't that loud. It wasn't like what I'm used to, where if I don't have like we weren't wearing ear pro.
Yeah.
Like that. Actually, were we in the tenant our helmets? I don't think so. But yeah, no, it wasn't like super loud. It was just like if something fell, like, made that crashing sound. I don't know like
Yeah.
how they did it or if they were really small explosions. But yeah, no, it wasn't anything like where I'm like, I got to plug my ears for this one because
Yeah.
I'm about to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about your military experience? What was the largest explosion you were near?
I mean, we did a little bit of AT4 training.
Yeah.
And that was, you could kind of feel it. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna take that back. It was loud, obviously, and
The
the thing
overpressure.
launching, you really got to bear down a little bit because it'll take it away from you if you're
Yeah.
not careful. And you feel the overpressure and stuff like that. But I think it was breaching charges. That was the most that I ever worked with close quarters, and I remember we did some operations in Iraq where we were, zero dark 30, put the thing up there and then bam, and we run in there. But that was, I was never, never really close to any kind of like big stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Same for me. Obviously, like, I love how you downplayed the AT4. You're like, yeah, you just feel it. No, like, I got to be honest. Like, shooting AT4, you're only allowed to shoot 3 of those a day.
Really?
Yeah, because the concussiveness, the overpressure scrambles your brain. Like,
Oh my
dudes get
gosh.
TBIs. Like, I have TBI on my record from shooting, like, mortar systems, from shooting AT4s. Like, you are only authorized. Like, dudes will literally become, like, mentally challenged afterwards because it scrambles your brain. Every time that happens, you get TBI. Like,
Oh my gosh. It's so funny, man, because I've told this story before, and I remember we had a couple of cases. I remember saying we each got to shoot it a couple of times. So
yeah.
I remember shooting like 3 or 4 of those things. So that explains a lot about my mental condition these
Yeah,
days.
oh, dude, yeah, and after the next day, you're like, "Oh, my head hurts." Yeah. Like,
Sorry, Mark. What is it? Mark 18, fully
oh, yeah,
automatic grenade
yeah.
launcher. I fired
Mark
a couple of
19?
those.
The Mark
Mark
19?
19, Mark
Yeah.
19. Yeah,
Yeah, the automatic. That one's a little different because it's like it's just tung, 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 and
yeah,
the
it's like far
explosions
away.
at distance.
Yeah.
Actually, funny story about that. We were shooting something called the 47, I believe, which is like the upgraded version of the Mark 19. It has like a laser computer aiming system on it, but it's still a
Mhm.
fully automatic grenade launcher.
Yeah.
And we had a brand new private shooting it, and like he just took it on free gun where he didn't use like the aiming system. He was just shooting, and he like his first round probably landed 30 meters in front of us, and like it literally just armed and like exploded uncomfortably way too close because he didn't know what
Ugh.
he was doing, and like a
Yeah.
piece of shrapnel came out and literally flew back and hit my other private in the face and like gashed his head
Oh.
open. And it
Oh
was
my
like, dude,
gosh.
yeah, so explosions are pretty dangerous. But that was that story. But yeah, no, the AT4 does a big explosion. That one's, yeah, that's what I said. It gives you that gut feeling, like if you're not bracing, that you will shit your pants. Like
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
holding something, it will come out. But I think the largest explosions I've been in, like shooting 120 millimeter mortars, like that scrambles you. Like that's the biggest mortar
Mm.
you can shoot,
Mm.
and we were shooting hundreds of those a day. So like I think the closest giant explosion I was ever in was we were shooting those 120s and we had like a dud. And
Mm.
like that's not cool because like the 120 when it impacts has like a 50-meter kill zone. Like it's
Wow,
that
man.
big of a it's yeah, the rock is like, dude, it's a ginormous rocket.
Yeah.
And I remember like we had this dud that day and we're like, oh God, like what do we do? So we called an EOD, and like EOD came and like kind of brought the munition outside of our compound and like stacked all the duds and like bipped it pretty close, like maybe 200 meters away. But like when they and BIP folks is just an acronym for blow in place, BIP. So BIP it. They like bipped it pretty close to the compound. And I just remember sitting in my bed or sitting in our room. We were all watching TV and they bipped it. And like all the windows just started shaking. And like it was so close. It was like the biggest explosion that went off near us in like the entire time we've been there. Like everyone was like, oh, and all the windows shook and like all the dust like fell off the roof. And like it was like
Wow.
crazy. But yeah, they were dropping like like 500-pound Hellfire missiles like in Raqqa, and you could feel those from over a mile away impact.
Wow.
Like, yeah, so those were, yeah, explosions are no joke.
Ah, dang,
Yeah,
man.
no, I like explosions. They're fun, but yeah, definitely want to be on the, in a controlled one where you,
Yeah, you
you,
want to be
you
on the
like know it's
sending
happening.
end.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't want a surprise explosion. Those aren't fun.
Yeah.
But,
Nobody likes surprise grenades.
yeah, no. But, what do you think, like, why is the appeal of explosions? Like, when an explosion goes off, why do you think everybody's like, yeah? Why do you think it's so manly, man?
Oh, that's interesting, man. Because I mean, I think you're hitting on it because it's probably something primal, that like the impact because you feel a real explosion. You
Yeah.
know, there's a spectacle of a firework, but like we talked about, you feel it in your very depths.
Feel
When
it in your
something
soul, in the
explodes and
bowels.
yeah, exactly. And maybe there's something about the power of it. There's a realization of the power because you can feel it literally within your body. Um, and also, I think one of the reasons why they're so prevalent or popular in action movies is most of us will never encounter an actual explosion. Thank God. There are parts of the world, war torn parts that I'm sure a lot
Yeah.
of people are thinking about right now, where it's almost a daily or weekly occurrence where there's impacts and rockets and
Yeah,
and
like people have to
explosions and
live their everyday
bombs.
lives while like
Dude, yeah,
by
man.
ducking and rolling mortars
Yeah,
and rock.
heading to the bomb shelter and stuff. And
Yeah,
so, yeah, there's something about like, some sort of primal thing about our weakness, our fragility that kind of brings it into focus when there's an explosion or, some sort of kind of impact and stuff. And so I think that's, and action wise, I mean, they just look really cool because
yeah,
the people in the movies, Quentin Farina, he did a couple episodes of Total Recoil I tried to get him on here, but he doesn't return my texts. Thanks a
oh
lot,
man,
Quentin. But
yeah,
he does
thanks, man.
he does
Yeah,
pyrotechnics in the industry, and so they get to mess with all that kind of stuff. And some of the things we'll talk about today, where just the logistics of getting 17,000 gallons of gasoline and just that working with all that and all the safety procedures that must be in place. I think a lot of things now they do it with CGI, which just isn't quite the same. But as we'll talk about with some of these, it's pretty amazing all of the intricate work that people go into.
yeah, no, I 100% agree, man. I think the best example of like dudes. Plus, I'm a firm believer of dudes who like choose to work in explosions, have a screw
Yeah.
loose, have like a
Hmm.
screw loose because it's like so unpredictable. But I think
Yeah.
the like description of like why we love explosions and like what they do to you or how they make you feel is Danny McBride in Tropic Thunder. Like the opening scene when they're like trying to figure it out and all the actors are like, this guy can't cry. And he's like, I'm ready
Yeah.
for the scene. He's like missing his arms are like blown up and uh Ben Stiller's like, I'm ready to do the scene, and Robert Downey Jr. is like, he can't even cry. What am I wasting my time here? And Danny
Ah.
McBride's ready to blow it, and they accidentally set the entire napalm explosion off by accident, and like Dan McBride sees the explosion, he's just like, Mother Nature just pissed her pantsuit. And like, yeah, I think that's just a really good explanation of like how they make you feel inside.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just so
man.
primitive. It's so cool. But yeah, you have to have a screw loose to work with explosives, especially in the military, because it's a dangerous job. It's so unpredictable.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, credit to EOD.
Yeah,
I guess like Hurt Locker, a la Hurt Locker, because a lot of the stuff we encountered overseas was old ordnance.
yeah,
Old Russian ordnance that would be improvised explosive devices, and these things were homemade. And so yeah, it's really just real dangerous, just unbelievably dangerous work. And yeah, you gotta have nerve. You gotta be really calm under pressure.
yeah,
Nerves of steel. You got to be able to focus and push kind of everything else out and really focus in on something.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. Hats off to those guys.
All the EOD guys that I know, they have stories, man. Like it's unbelievable stories, and they like talk about it casually, and you're just like you you picked up a 200-pound bomb with your bare hands, and like the suit wouldn't work, so they're like, yeah, we never use a suit. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's just
it's
yeah.
too
They're like,
cumbersome.
yeah, they're like, it's too cumbersome. It takes too long to put on, so we just go out there and hit it with some rocks. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, yeah, they have a screw loose. But that is, I mean, have you ever seen quick before we get into it? Have you ever seen an explosion before you joined the military?
No,
No,
no, no,
I
no
saw
fireworks. That was it.
I
Really?
saw one
You saw
explosion
something?
before I joined the military.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
I was on a game show on Cartoon Network growing up called Destroy.
Really?
Yeah, called Destroy, Build, Destroy, and it was literally like kids, like three. There are two teams of three kids each team, and we would build something, and we would like use these creations to like compete in a sport or like a game, and then
Uh-huh.
whoever won got to blow up the other team's creation.
Oh,
So
okay. I'm looking at some stuff right now on YouTube. Okay, they got some episodes up, man. Well,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know what season you were in? We'd have to find this, man.
Oh man, it's actually it's really bad because they make me look like a little shit the entire time. That was like that's where I that was my first exposure to TV and realizing how they can make somebody look terrible by like editing, you know?
Yeah.
So like I think I don't remember the season, but the episode was called Motocross versus Street Ballers. And I was part of the motocross team. And I will tell you, don't watch it, because I don't look or sound or do like I'm nothing like how I looked. I have super long hair. I had a massive speech impediment. Like like it was bad. Like the entire episode, I was just they edited it to make me look like I was lazy and not pulling my jaw. Like not they look like they did one part where they like literally were interviewing me and they're like, "Oh, I heard you're a dancer. You want to show us some moves?" And I was like, "Sure." So I started dancing, and then in the final version, they edited it to make it look like the other guys were working, and I like walk out of frame and they insert audio of me saying like, "You guys can handle it," and then it just cuts to me like
Oh.
dancing in like the corner, so it
Oh.
looks like I like literally like they're working, I just walk away and start dancing and like fooling around. Well, that's not what happened. And yeah, so they definitely make me look like a little shit. But we ended up winning, and we got to blow up the other team's stuff. But yeah, that
That's
was my
all that
first
matters,
exposure.
really.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah, that's I'm not gonna put that one on my IMDb.
Well, Cameron, we got a wonderful list of beautiful explosions and why we love them. Why don't you take it first, man? What do you think? What out
Ooh.
of this list would you like to mention first?
Um. There's so many good ones. I think let's
I
start with
know,
the
man.
first one on the list
Okay.
because honestly, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So from the Christopher Nolan's Batman: The Dark Knight,
Yeah,
Heath
with Heath
Ledger's
Ledger. Yeah.
yeah, when and more specifically the hospital explosion. So
Yep.
essentially, they say that one of the hospitals is going to get blown up in Gotham. So it just becomes this rat race against the clock to like evacuate every single hospital. But nobody knows which one it's going to be. So they kind of have to do some detective work. And Batman's like racing along and everybody's like freaking out. And because, there's some cops and the whole intent is for somebody to, was it assassinate Harvey Dent?
No, it was this turncoat dude who was gonna like turn state's
Yeah.
evidence and expose Batman or whatever. And
Yes.
then Heath Ledger's like Joker's like, nah, you better not do that. I'm gonna put a bounty on it. So whoever's gonna go after him, I'm gonna give you money or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Bruce Wayne takes a hit in the car when somebody else is trying to
Yeah.
kill that
About to
that
kill
one
him.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he says, if you kill him, I won't blow up the hospital.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you kill him,
exactly.
I won't blow up the hospital. So everybody try and like there's the guy who's supposed to be protecting him in the car that they
Yeah.
find
And
out
then
that
he's
like
like,
his mother or like somebody in his family is in a hospital like dying. So he
yeah,
like is about to kill the guy because he's like, I gotta save my family. But
yeah.
yeah, Bruce Wayne ends up hitting him with his car and like taking him out. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, wasn't paying attention."
Yeah, he's like, "Do you know who you just saved?" He's like, "Oh, who's that?" He's like, Do you what? Do you even watch the news?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know."
I don't know. I'm just an eccentric billionaire, Bruce Wayne. I'm just having a good old yeah, but no, the actual explosion when like and it wasn't there a little bit behind that explosion, like there was some improv there?
Now, here I did a little bit of research. It could be the full story, or there could be a little bit more to it. In that, there's the shot of the Joker walking outside of the hospital, and everything's blowing up around him, and then there's like this pause, and he kind of turns around and is kind of like, what's and he kind of
That's it?
messes with the detonator and stuff, and then it goes off. The rest goes off, and he runs in. But apparently the pause in explosions was planned for safety reasons. This is the article that I read.
Uh-huh.
And so he did a little bit of improv as far as like reacting to it. You know, like, oh, let's see. They didn't tell him what to do, but he knew it wasn't going to happen right away. And then they let everything else go off, and then he jumps on the bus, and so everything kind of happens the way it was supposed to. So he did improv, but it's not like he saved the scene because, oh no, someone wrong. Keep the cameras rolling, and then he's like, I'm gonna keep acting. You know?
I'm
and
gonna
then
look
they,
around. I'm gonna act like the detonator. I'm gonna hit it a little bit, and then boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, that's kind of one of those. I feel like that's one of those like movie lore kind of things. But regardless, it's so good.
It's a huge
You know?
explosion.
And and Christopher Nolan, we'll talk about him a little bit more in the episode, but I think he's a big fan of practical effects.
Practical. It was all practical effects. Every movie is like mainly practical effects.
Yeah. Yeah. And that one you see like that building, I don't know what it was. They must have, I hope maybe they constructed it. I don't know. Or it was abandoned, but that like the middle walkway section falls down, the corner of the building completely collapses.
Yeah.
And so you imagine the kind of coordination that it takes, like the special effects coordinators and the stunt coordinators, so much coordination to purposefully do this thing and not have anybody die.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Nobody
man.
wandering on set, like, because they're shooting it in like an occupied area. It's not like, in Tenet, we were out in the middle of the desert somewhere. So like we can get away with so much. But like when they're filming Batman in Chicago, it was filmed in Chicago, right? Because it had all
I think they filmed them in, I think all of them in Chicago, I think.
Yeah. So like when you're in like the Windy City, it's populated. It's hard to control that. And to bring down a building of that extent while like controlling it and rendering everything safe. Yeah, that must have been, I wonder like how that day looked on set.
Yeah. And you know what, if you watch the clip, Heath Ledger's walking out of that building that collapses after that. So
yeah,
they're
so
like,
it's rigged.
okay,
Yeah.
everything's set. And he walks in there and he's maybe looking all around and there's like wires and explosives right next to him. He's like, all right, I hope they don't blow.
All right. Yeah. All right. This is part of the job, I guess.
He's probably just thinking in character.
Yeah, probably. He's all hopped up on perk and, on the verge of suicide anyways. R.I.P. I mean, side note, like the Joker, I think that was like his most iconic role ever to play. But it's like he does such a good job that when I watch The Dark Knight, it doesn't look like Heath Ledger to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like like I can't imagine him as Heath Ledger. Like it's like he's a different person. Even like when he takes the makeup off, like he does not look like Heath Ledger. Like he looks like a completely different person. That blew my mind.
Yeah, that's I think it's one of those all-time great cinematic character things. Where he's out of all the Jokers, everybody has their favorite Joker. I think for a lot of people, he's their favorite Joker because he just embodied the wild chaos of it, and he was put in such a good world, the Christopher Nolan kind of grounded Batman universe. So
no, it's like Colin Farrell playing the Penguin, but without the prosthetics.
Yeah. It's definitely everybody has. I feel like some characters is just a little aside. Some characters in pop culture, it's kind of, we talk about remakes, but it's acceptable, I think, especially comic book characters, that when eventually they're going to reboot it, because these studios are never going to let these properties go if they can help it. So they have to keep using the material in order to retain the rights. I think that's how it works. You guys can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Having your own take on a character, like putting your own spin on some iconic character. It's like, it's the joy for an actor. I'm sure, they love the challenge, and a lot of these actors have grown up with the material. And so I appreciate that, that every once in a while, bless you.
Thank you.
Every once in a while, a character gets to take on that mantle once again. It's like Batman, every couple of years, somebody gets to play the Batman. Anyway, Heath Ledger, all that to say, did a great job. Apocalypse Now, just talking about like practical effects,
Oh man. Yeah.
And it gives rise to one of those great lines. It's the napalm run in Apocalypse Now. It's Robert Duvall. And it's like, I love his character because Charlie Sheen or Martin Sheen sets him up so well. He's like, you just knew that he was going to get out of the war without a scratch. He's walking around without his shirt off. He's like, Charlie, don't surf. He's like
Charlie,
sending his dudes out to surf.
You surf or you fight.
Yeah.
They're literally paddling out as mortars are hitting the surf and everything. Yeah, that's a great Kilroy, Lieutenant Lieutenant Colonel Kilroy.
Oh, okay.
What's his name again? Let's see. Lieutenant Colonel
Kilgore.
Kilgore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kilgore. Yeah. Lieutenant Colonel Bill Kilgore. Don't help that man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's an
It's great,
iconic
man.
character. Yeah, he's an awesome character, honestly. It's
Yeah.
that and that napalm scene is like I think they definitely got the inspiration for Tropic Thunder's explosion from that
Yeah. Yeah, that
scene.
totally tracks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
man.
napalm back in the day, that was like, yo, dude, I'm surprised like there's still jungle standing. Like for the amount of napalm that was like dropped in Vietnam. But
Yeah.
yeah, that explosion is awesome. It's real. It's
Yeah.
truly
Yeah.
real.
There's a
And
whole
like, oof.
line of it. The shot is like this whole line of explosion just going up like a fireball. And like, it's got to be like what, 100 meters, 200 meters?
Oh yeah, longer. Yeah, 200. I would say 200 easy. It's a big explosion. Like it's
Yeah.
a napalm run, dude. It's a airstrike. It's done to a T. It's really good. I really like
Yeah.
it. And yeah, the character just makes it all that much better, especially with the line, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning." And,
Yep. Exactly. He talks about the gasoline smell. Smells like victory.
it smells like
It's
victory. It is
Robert
good.
Duvall, man.
I see you have a note here that says, "I met him once."
This is true, and also the real reason why this Apocalypse Now explosion is on the list. But I was when I was working at a restaurant when I first got into Los Angeles. I was working at the Mondrian Hotel as a host at uh, Asia de Cuba. Yeah, Asia de Cuba is what it was called back then. It's like Fishbone now or whatever. But yeah, it was a special night. It was like a pre or post Oscar thing or whatever. And we were working that night. And yeah, good old Robert Duvall, man, walks in and we were ordered to, show him to a specific table and stuff. But yeah, that was it. I
Yeah.
showed him to his
That's when
table.
that's when you're like, "I'm also an actor."
Yeah.
This
I
isn't my
said,
full-time job.
yeah, I said, I have a script I'd love you to look at.
Yeah. Here's my headshot, and you slide it underneath the check.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear every single actor is a waiter. And if you go to Hollywood and you sit down, I guarantee 9 times out of 10, that person serving you is also a struggling actor.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a cliche, but it's also because it comes from real life. Because
Yeah.
it's a flexible job. It's
Uh-huh.
pretty good money, but it's also flexible hours. You can get shift switch. You can pick up other shifts, and so it's just
Yeah.
really good when you got auditions and whatnot.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. There's a good example of it. I was watching a Hell's Kitchen or that Kitchen Nightmares with why am I blanking? Why am I blanking on literally Hell's Kitchen himself, Mr. The chef? You
Yeah,
know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
The
know
really
why I can't.
fiery
Gordon
guy,
Ramsay. Sorry, Gordon
Gordon
Ramsay.
Ramsay. It's because we're doing a
Yeah,
podcast, man. The pressure's
yeah.
on.
Every time I need to remember a name, I just don't. So Gordon Ramsay, I'm watching Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay, and there's a restaurant in Burbank, and it's every single employee in that restaurant is a struggling actor. He like only hires actors that like just need a job to like pay their rent while they try to make it famous. And I'm
Yep.
like, oh, classic example. You go to Burbank, your waiter's probably gonna be, gonna slip you a headshot or two.
Yep.
Yeah, just check out myself real.
Oh, we love
Well,
our
let's see
actors.
here. Yeah, we love them. We love them. Well, I want to mention one that I remember pretty well because obviously Stan Bush sings the theme song of the PCFM podcast, and he's
Mhm.
also the voice the original song for Transformers. So growing up, Transformers was a big part of my childhood. So when Revenge of the Fallen came out, I got to obviously go to BotCon and I got a lot of exposure to that. So that was exciting for my life. And they do Michael Bay. You can't talk about explosions without talking about good old Michael Bay.
Michael
Yeah.
Bay, master of explosions,
The
man.
master. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
know he's one of your favorite directors.
Yeah,
Not
I don't
favorite,
know
but
how to say that. I
well,
mean, I
you
didn't
said
mean
you love Michael Bay. You
I
love
mean,
Michael Bay.
I love Michael Bay. I love 13 Hours.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that Michael Bay is very pro-military. It's obvious, like him, and he's probably got the United States military or the DoD on speed dial for
Yeah.
his phone because he always gets full cooperation. He always gets the coolest toys, and he always shows the military in a positive light, like
Oh,
overtly
certainly.
so. I think he gets a lot of real, actual military people to play extras or background people
I
or
would
have a
sure.
line here and
Yeah.
there.
Because I
So
was, I was watching scenes from Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers, and like their aircraft carrier scenes,
yeah,
they're legit. Yeah,
yeah,
there's nothing fake about them. They're like
yeah.
legit. He's there, just a fly on the wall with the camera, just watching jets take off, and he puts it in the movies. So I respect that. But yeah, you can't talk about Michael. I can't talk about explosions without talking about Michael Bay.
Yep.
Actually, so like we said, he's known for his military relationship and love and explosions. Like there's an inside joke like, we need more explosion. If it's a Michael Bay film, he's like, we need more explosives. Like this one's not big enough. We need another one and make it 10 times bigger.
Yep.
Yeah, during this movie, they allegedly set the world record for the largest explosion on set with actors.
No kidding.
Yeah, and this is a scene out of New Mexico when they're like, it's Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf, and they're like running back to the military to like kind of save them from like Megatron and Starscream, and like as they're coming in, they throw smoke and they're approving, like I think they said you're approved for a 2,000 or 1,000 pound JDAM, and like they're sitting there and like what is it, Terrell Owens?
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah,
actor's name?
he's calling for fire, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's calling for fire, and he's like, I told him to hit the orange smoke, and they're like sitting there, and literally there's orange smoke all around them because he's like, honestly, it wasn't my best throw, and they're like, run, and they're like running, and as they're running, this JDAM comes and just hits, and they literally blow up this entire like compound, and it's a gnarly explosion. The shockwave. I wonder if that shockwave was actually like included. I think it was CGI, but still, like the explosion itself was massive.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at it right now, man. Yeah, it's mad. They're all running away from it. Even
Yeah,
the
they're
one with
running
the
away.
shot with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox is pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, it's huge. Like, I wonder. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they got a lot of people involved in this one
Oof,
too.
so beautiful. Yeah, I love the wide shots. The wide shots are what really show you the scale,
Yeah,
of it. And I'm sure they have like tons of like, oh, it's so beautiful. Tons of cameras rolling. They like 7 or 8 different cameras, I'm sure. Because you only get to do this once.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can't do it again. So like, that brings me back to Tropic Thunder, where it's like we could not do this again, and they blew it up, and the cameras weren't even rolling.
Yep.
Yeah, that explosion is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have like 9 different explosions going off at once, just lighting this place up. I
Yeah.
wonder how fun that must have been to like, be running away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know,
never
man.
get.
I
Yeah,
wonder if it's like, because sometimes you see the slow motion and they're acting, they got the acting face on, and then when the explosion hits, their like eyes kind of go wide. They're like, oh, they're really kind of running from it.
yeah. That's interesting. But yeah, that would have
I'm
been a
sure it
really
must
cool
be.
one.
I'm sure it must be very satisfying for all the coordinators involved,
Yeah.
because I'm sure it's weeks, maybe even months of planning, all the way
Yeah.
down to the most minute detail. Because not only do they have to do the explosion, but depending on how they do it, they have to time it with actors like running around, like big, famous, insured actors that
Yeah.
can't be injured, and we'll just like honorable mention, because we can't get to everything today, but the Spectre explosion, they have to time. They timed it with their line. Like he has a line that he says, and then boom, everything in the compound starts exploding. I think they set a record for that one at the time. Maybe even, I don't know if it was bigger than the Transformers 2 one, but all that to say, when all that goes off and it goes off without a hitch, and they get the shot and it's done, I'm sure you see a lot of them. A lot of times they're like clapping and cheering on set because like everything went great, nobody died.
Yeah,
But
I'm watching it right now. Oh man.
yeah, it's at the big explosion is at, go to 218 if you want to, folks.
Yep.
If you want to Google a Spectre Guinness World Record explosion and hit the about the 217, 218 mark, that's what Cameron's looking at right now. But
That
I
doesn't
haven't seen
even
the
look
film.
real, dude.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Wow.
And so imagine being the actor. Like, okay, you get to your mark, and when you say your line, we're gonna go for it, and it's gonna take weeks for us to reset. So you better hit that line. You better say it the way we need you to say it. You better say
Yeah.
it on time.
Could you imagine they're like, they're about to say it, and he's just like,
Yeah,
line,
like
and the
he
guy was like,
forgets the line. Yeah. Nope, too late.
Yep, too late. Line. Oh yeah, that's a good one. It almost doesn't look real because like it looks so far in the distance.
Yeah,
Like it kind of
behind
looks like
them.
a miniature. Yeah, geez, I didn't know that was even real.
And there's like it's like a cord. It starts at the front. The fireball goes
Yeah, it's
around
like
the center and
tiny,
then
tiny,
comes
tiny.
back forward
Yeah,
towards them. You know.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun to hear actors talk about like what they felt that on set, like the heat wave or the concussive
Yeah,
blast or whatever.
yeah. Well, I mean, other honorable mentions. I mean, obviously the movie about the largest explosion of all time, Oppenheimer. Have you? Yeah, like,
Yeah, man. I mean, now the thing about that is I did a little bit did a little bit of research, not a lot, but there's articles and videos about that
yeah,
one. The reason I put it in honorable mentions, it's not like on the main list, is it. Christopher Nolan talked about the reason why they did what they did and the feeling that they wanted to portray with that moment, because it's a moment within like like a 3-hour movie.
yeah,
Oppenheimer is a biography. It's a biopic. It's not about the explosion. It's not about the bomb. It's about his life. And then that was obviously a significant part of his life is coordinating and creating ultimately that bomb with the team that he was with out at New Mexico.
yeah,
But it's amazingly done. But it's kind of one of those things where, the actual explosion or whatever it's not what you think it is. It's not this big, like spectacular. It's like in the distance and it's like the big flash. And then there's kind of nothing for a while. And then the shockwave hits him, so he meant it. It's like he meant it to be part spectacle, but also kind of part like not like a happy moment, you know what I mean? Not
yeah,
a it's like Michael Bay type explosion where the spectacle is the thing. It's you're supposed to feel this moment of like, wow, the world's been changed forever. So yeah, Oppenheimer, it's obviously in the marketing, it's all about the bomb and the explosion. And it's a huge part of the movie, but the actual explosion in the movie is not. I remember thinking like, oh, that's it. That's kind of like not what I thought it would be, because
yeah.
in the movie they make it all about the trailer, or in the trailer rather, they make it all about that moment, like he's about to press the button. So
Yeah, no, I'm watching it right now. And like, yeah, it's like, okay, I would honestly be kind of upset, spending 3 hours and then being like, this is it. Like, I feel like the build up to this moment, it's a lot harder to or a lot easier in a way to just watch this clip on YouTube and just skip everything and just take it for what it is,
yeah,
because
yeah.
like,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah,
it's like everything I expected an atomic bomb to be, Oh, and then the shockwave finally hits them, yeah, and they're like, and everyone's like,
yeah,
but I mean,
yeah,
yeah, you just changed the course of like combat,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
World
now,
history, man.
yeah, it's like now we have this thing and
Yeah,
we will use it.
and we are.
It's
Yeah,
like
we have
the
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 potential to
worst
destroy
threat.
ourselves.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you can mess with us, but we will
Yeah,
nuke you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
jeez.
It's that line at the end, spoilers, but it's like he's talking to Einstein, and Einstein, there's something about like, you wanted to know whether or not we were giving them the tools to destroy themselves or whatever. And he's like, I really think that that's what we did. And that's why Einstein gets all sad and mopey. And
Oh man, yeah,
he
I haven't seen
realizes,
Oppenheimer.
oh man, it's great. It's a great film. It's very well done, but it is a biopic. Don't go in there thinking that it's all about the build up to the explosion, because it takes
No,
you
it's
from a
about
young
Oppenheimer,
man.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, and then it takes it afterwards, because it was kind of one of those things where almost like they had a political assassination of him, of his life, and they kind of tried to ruin him a little bit because of like he kind of outlived his usefulness. And
yeah,
he was also kind of out afterwards. He was kind of outspoken against the bomb. He was like, I intended to do this so that we could have like a deterrent or whatever, so that we could. And then he wanted to. I think in the movie he wanted to give that technology to the Russians so that there could be this kind of like parity
balance.
between nations and balance and stuff. And so it got run up against like the politics of the time and stuff. So it's really interesting. It's really well, obviously Christopher Nolan, man. It's
Yeah.
like back to more like character work for him, where he's kind of been more into like spectacle lately, I think. But yeah, man, it's good. If you haven't seen Oppenheimer, it's one of the best movies of the year for sure.
Okay, I'll have to go check it out and spend 3 hours. Um, yeah,
All right, Cameron, why don't we do one more piece and then we'll get to our game and our question.
sure. What do you want to knock out real quick?
Man, there's so many good ones. We got Independence Day here. We got Star
Yeah.
Wars. We got Mad Max, Aliens, Darkman. Um, okay, I'm not going to talk about Aliens, where the atmospheric pressure processor melts down and goes nuke. I've talked about it
Yeah.
enough, but if you want to look at that, you can go Google it. Um, I think I'll leave you with this. I think Independence Day is one of those iconic movies. I don't know what, the director of that movie, his name escapes me at the moment, kind of ushered us into the world of like world ending like event kind of things, the day after
Yeah.
tomorrow. And Independence Day was like this, like these
Roland
epic
Emmerich.
shots. Roland Emmerich, there you go. He's the big world is going to explode or world
Yeah.
ending kind of events, big natural disasters or whatnot. But Independence Day, I remember that came out, man, in the 90s. It was like a return to form of the blockbuster. Like the blockbuster is back, It
Yeah.
was so popular. I remember going to see it, and I remember I saw it like 3-4 times in the theaters. But the way that they were able to portray like the destruction of these iconic buildings, like the White House getting destroyed
Yeah.
and the Empire State Building getting destroyed and Los Angeles, getting destroyed. I think it's a US Bank building now. But yeah, it's like one of those things. It's that God forbid any of these buildings should ever actually be destroyed. But it's like, what if they did? What would that look like? And Roland Emmerich showed us an Independence Day. And so I think in the midst of that, those explosions and that destruction was like this. It was just huge spectacle, And also Independence Day it's a fun film. I think it holds up pretty fairly well. And it's like a kind of an aspirational movie because you want us to unite as a planet, hopefully, instead of being divided. And so that was kind of what the movie was kind of partly about. So that's my final entry.
Well, I think that's a good one, man. Because just visually, especially in the 90s, like seeing the White House just blow up.
Yeah.
That's like an attack,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
It was an emotional thing because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, like if that happened in real life.
Yeah.
Like the Twin Towers during the 9/11, like it started a national call to arms. So like seeing that on the big screen, that's like a gut
Change the
punch.
world. Yeah.
Yeah. But good. I think that's a good final segue here because we got so much time on these podcasts and we still need to play our game. So we don't have a fan question this week, but we do have a game for y'all. And since I can't see it, that must mean one thing.
I'm the game master now, Cameron. I have the game on this one, and we got a fun one for you. It should be a fun game based on nothing more than the sentence I will read. This game is called Explosive Fact or Explosive Fiction. I'm going to say the name of a type of explosive, bombs included, and you tell me if it's real or made up.
Oh, God.
So,
all right, Chris.
We got to warm up. I think I don't know. I think you're gonna be all right with this one. I think you have a pretty good. Your military knowledge is way more up to date and current than mine is. So
okay, well, let's see, man. Let's see if I have to go in the bowels of my memories.
All right, this is the warm up, just to give you an idea of how the game's played. C4.
Yes, composition 4.
There you go, man. It's a real
100% a real one.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah, so good. See, I'm going to give you the name of a bomb or explosive, and you just tell me if it's real or not.
I'll tell you. Okay, here we go.
All right, number 1 coming up, Cameron. Moab,
mother of all bombs. Yes, it is a real bomb.
Yeah, it is. It's colloquially known as mother of all bombs. I think its official name is Massive Ordnance Airburst.
Ooh,
but yes,
we dropped one of those not too long ago.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Wait, was that the Iraq attack? No, that was an assassination.
No, it was during the Trump administration.
Okay.
Yeah, we dropped the Moab. I think Afghanistan or Syria. Yeah, it was a big deal. That's a really big deal because it was like the biggest piece of ordnance we've dropped during the global war on terrorism. It was a big.
I'm
deal.
sure Trump was very proud of that fact.
Oh yeah. This bomb. It was the greatest bomb. It was the bomb that I told everyone. I did it. Yes, it was the biggest bomb.
It's true. Everyone agrees.
Everyone agrees that it was the biggest bomb.
All right, man. You got that one. Let's see if you get this next one. The next one is called head bomb.
A head bomb. I don't know. Never heard of that. A head bomb. Head bomb. I don't know. There's so many different names for bombs. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a real bomb. I've never heard of it, so I'm just going to go with my gut and say no. But it's probably a real bomb, but I'll just go with my gut and say no, it's not a real bomb.
You should go with those instincts, Cameron, because you are correct. It is literally a bomb placed in someone's head or around the neck. It's basically, we get this from
Like a
Total
suicide
Recall.
squad. Oh, okay.
The Total Recall head device or whatever. It's also
Okay.
featured in Mission Impossible 3. If prominently, they implant it into Actually, you know what, Chris? I'm not sure this head bomb was introduced into the movie Total Recall, but Total Recall, it was an implantation. It was a tracker, but I don't remember it being a bomb.
You don't
I know
remember
that
when
Mission
it's Arnold
Impossible.
Schwarzenegger's head and it's literally a bomb?
Oh, you're right. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I was thinking of the
Yeah.
tracker, but it's literally a head to
Yeah,
get
it's
ready for
literally
a
like a head that he
surprise.
takes off and it's a
Yeah, it's the
bomb.
woman's
Yeah.
head. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
literally a bomb that looks like a head or is a cybernetic head. Okay, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Chris. Yes, you were correct. You were correct.
Yeah.
No, don't give me a call.
You're gonna get a
No.
nasty text now.
Yeah, he's like, I knew I was right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You got that one. You got that one correct. It is not a real bomb, but it was in Total Recall, which is pretty awesome. So the next one, Cameron, are you ready?
Yes.
Blue 82.
Blue 82.
BLU-82.
BLU/82. BLU/82. Blue 82. Blue 82. Blue 82. Thanks. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like an old school type of explosion or explosive. Like, I was a breacher when I was a team leader. Like, that was one of our skill sets. I didn't go to master breacher school
Mhm.
because they said you got to re-enlist for that, and I was like, no, thank you. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's like an older type of munition. So I'll go ahead and say yes, it is an explosive.
I like your thought process, Cameron. You're correct. Blue 82 is a real bomb. It was used for clearing out forested areas, mostly in Vietnam. During the Vietnam War, the U.S. Air Force used 10,000-pound M21 121 bombs left over from World War II to blast helicopter landing zones in dense undergrowth.
Okay, makes sense. All right.
Yeah, man, you're killing it, man. You're really doing
Going
well.
with
You got good instincts. Yep.
Instinct. Stick with the gut.
Let's see if it serves you well. Coming up, we're going to do another one called... Wait, hold on. Okay. Trinitrotoluene.
Trinitrotoluene. Trinitrotoluene. I feel like this is a real explosive. Trinitrotoluene it's. I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. I don't know if it's like the main component in like a frag grenade. It's either if there's like composition B, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say yes. Trinitrotoluene is an explosive.
It is an explosive, more commonly known as TNT.
TNT. Okay.
Trinitrotoluene.
Wow, that was like trinitrotoluene. TNT. Yeah, maybe I just yeah. But I'm glad I got it right.
Yeah, you got it right, man. You got good instincts, man. Good thought processes. I like hearing your thought process. We got 3 more.
Okay.
Let's do this one. Dioxygen hydrofluorine.
Dioxygen hydrofluorine. So di meaning there's two what was it? Dioxygen?
Dioxygen hydrofluorine.
O2 hydro-FL. O2FL. Dioxygen hydrofluorine. Yeah, this is an interesting chemical composition. Not too familiar because dioxygen meaning there is 2 oxygens. Hydrofluorine, I don't remember hydro meaning it has to do something with water, H2O. Fluorine is a different type of chemical. I wish I paid attention in chemical
class.
In chemical class, like chemistry 101, but I cheated through the entire thing. So I don't know. I mean, it sounds like a real chemical. Just is this chemical explosive? Screw it. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Or it's gonna be like just a common household chemical like bleach or something. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say yes. I've been doing pretty good. I don't mind giving one up.
Oh, you're gonna have to give this one up, Cameron.
Okay.
It is literally something Chris made up just now. for the
Really?
game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
he just probably put a bunch of fancy chemistry words together and just made
Yep,
it up.
sounds like it. All right, that's fine, Chris. Very creative, very Bill Nye of you.
Okay, Chris is a writer, so he's a very
Yeah,
creative
he
guy.
is.
All right, you got two more, Cameron. Second to last one, the blockbuster bomb.
The blockbuster bomb. These bomb names are super like who invented these? Like I've never heard the blockbuster bomb. I'm just gonna go ahead and say yes, it was a real bomb. Just because I feel like I've heard something like that before. It's probably like a nickname. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say yeah. Just for
You're back on top, Cameron. That is
yeah.
correct. It is a high-capacity bomb for maximum blast effect, only used during World War II. There's a couple pictures I'm looking at of some bombing raids. They look like there's just a bunch of them just dropping. I think they maybe 4,000-pound high-capacity Mark I bomb actually weighed around 3,900 pounds, was welded cylindrical shell and a thick steel. The body was, yeah. So it's I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now. But all that to say, you are correct. It is.
All right, I'll take it.
All right, Cameron, you're doing really great, man. You're like at about 90%. That's an A-.
Okay.
Last one,
Last one.
the gay bomb.
The gay bomb. Oh man. The most dangerous bomb there is. Yeah, it turns
They dropped
everybody
this one.
gay.
They dropped this one in the vicinity of West Hollywood in
Yes.
1960, and it's never been the same.
It's never been the same. Yeah, the gay bomb. But what context of gay? Are we saying the medieval meaning happy and witty and go lucky? Or do we mean man on man? Who knows? The gay bomb. Putting shit in the water, turning the frogs gay. I mean, this is wild enough to be a real thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's a gay bomb. It's real.
You are right and wrong at the same time. It's both.
It is both fact
it's
and
a
fiction.
bomb they were really working on, but that none was ever built. The gay bomb, informally known by that name, refers to a non-lethal psychochemical weapon concept that was speculated upon by research laboratory within the United States Air Force. This unconventional idea involved the dispersion of sexual pheromones over enemy forces with the intent of generating mutual sexual attraction among them, causing mass confusion and panic within their platoon.
Why do I want to make out with my battle buddy?
I can't fight this war anymore. I'm so confused.
I'm so confused. I'm going gay. Everyone knows gay men don't fight in wars. Yeah.
I give up.
I give up.
Come take me in many more ways than one.
Yeah, I feel like that psyop, I feel like that's not a bomb anymore. That's more of a psyop, and it's been working.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
Netflix has been working this psyop for years.
They've been putting that in the water for
turning all the frogs gay.
Years. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex Jones called it. But that's interesting. Yeah, the Air Force, I don't run anything past them.
Man, they got the bat bombs. They got all sorts of crazy ideas that
I'm actually
never come to
surprised.
fruition, you know?
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't the work of the Navy though. But anyways, yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
That's my sailor. That's my gay sailor hit. But no, that was a fun game, man.
Yeah, good stuff. A little bit of fun, a little bit of fiction, a little bit of fact. I always like those kinds of games. But that's all we got. That's all we got, folks. Cameron, it's been fun talking explosions with you. Hope you got something out of this driving in your cars or watching on YouTube. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, folks, we got some more content for you. We got the first formation, which is me talking about some pop culture items I'm excited for the week. That comes out on Mondays. And then we got the debrief, Cameron wrapping up the week with some fun or interesting military news and also dating advice.
Sometimes, yeah.
And then if you want to hang out with me a little bit more, I have a horror gaming channel called the Iz Files that just got started a couple weeks ago. I'd love for you to check that out.
Yeah. And with that, folks, keep doing what you're doing. We'll catch you on next week's episode of the PCFM podcast. And with that,
cue music.